Hi, welcome to HeKate's Crossing. Now, I got the Sacred Site Oracle deck in, which is absolutely gorgeous. Now I'm trying to decide what tarot deck could I work with. I did think of the Hoodoo Tarot. What I want to do, just give me a second here. Right, let's continue. Okay, so one of my thoughts was the Hoodoo Tarot and the Native American. Actually, the Native American Tarot looks quite cool colour-wise. Then, oops, get rid of the bags. Got the Japanese tarot. I was thinking of anything that's sort of cultural. So I think I could use the Sacred Sites really with any of the sort of the cultural decks that I've got. So here I've got the Japanese tarot, Native American tarot, the Hoodoo tarot, the Maori tattoo tarot. Okay, are really good options. And then my last choice would be maybe the if I want to do a romantic sort of type reading or relationship reading, I could use the romantic tarot as well. Just colour wise, I think it goes really, really well. So it'll be interesting to see some of the messages that come through as we look at the different decks. So yeah, interesting. So let's just take a moment, take a breath. And let's think about maybe, one way of looking at it would be to do, here we go, one card flipped out. So what flipped out? The Australian one, which is interesting. I don't have an Australian deck, otherwise of course I would use the Australian, but could think about maybe the romantic. Let's just have a look at what it's like with the romantic tarot. Just taking a look here, just to see what it looks like. So Uluru, let's see what the message is for that one there. You, I think. This one. So 180 suffers. Page 180. Let's see what the message of this one is of Uluru. Okay, it's about creativity. This is the Northern Territory of Australia. So we're looking about being creative. So maybe the things about being creative. So let's have a look. Now I'm getting a really strong, I'll just go to the New Zealand tarot with this one here. Even though I know it's not, just colour-wise I think it could go through really well. Let's just have a look. See what the message of the creative energy. What message will the cards give us in regard to being creative? Eight of Swords. So maybe for us to be creative, we need to walk away from something. For us to be creative, it might be definitely about our emotions in some level. So this is interesting because here we're getting like 3 swords. And we've got the 8 of Swords, so maybe we're feeling trapped. So maybe the thing is about walking away from something because we might be feeling like we are easily wounded by what other people think. So it does give us that perception of being restrained or trapped in some way. Might give us that feeling of being trapped in this thing. So, in being creative, and maybe ask that because we're feeling like we need to walk away from something, that we're feeling like we're easily wounded by others, and we might be feeling a little bit constrained or restricted, we need to find a way to use our own creativity in the journey that lies ahead. Interesting. Look at the colours in that, it's amazing. So anyway, let's have a look at another message. Let's see. Here we've got Wanaku. Let's look at that. Okay. So this is an important thing with the sacred side deck, to use the cards. I think that's quite an important part. I mean, we can go into a lot more detail later. Okay, this is the West one. So this is in Bolivia, and this is page 190. Okay, this talks about elimination. So this talks about things being eliminated. Maybe this is a sense of you need to find the rock. This might be related to the place of a sanctuary. Something people are doing. So just to me, I'm just getting a sense of looking at what you need to let go of in your journey. What do you need to let go of in your journey? Well, and Native American Tarot flew out. So it's looking at what are you harvesting? What are you a sense of coming together? What are you gathering to find a sense of contentment? And it could be to do with past issues as well. So to eliminate what no longer serves you, it might be important for you to look at bringing into your life or harvesting a sense of contentment, happiness, joy, a sense of finding that thing that gives you maybe it's past memory as well. Does give you a sense of being gentle with yourself as well, nurturing, a sense of allowing yourself to look at the energies, the gentle energies, the nurturing energies that are going to give you the happiness and the chance to eliminate, what's not important to your journey, what doesn't serve you well. You need to eliminate what's not good for you, and it's going to allow you to really look at what's important. Now we can also have a sense of, when we look at this as well, we could look at, let's have a look, see what else the cards sort of come into. Could talk about knowledge. Here we've got the power symbol of the ink cross representing the world tree, the universal emblem of knowledge. So we've got what knowledge comes through, and indicates communication with the dead and with other. So maybe we need to connect with the spirit world in some way. Maybe we're connecting with our guides, or maybe someone who's passed over, or maybe a connection with another world. So what does this idea open up for you? What feelings and possibilities? So it's interesting to look at, in the past, it could be maybe you're looking at someone who's passed, and you're wanting to communicate with them in some way, and maybe you've got signs, or so what are you bringing into your life to find commitment? What past life connection do you have to this person who's passed? And are you being gentle with yourself? Are you, I'm just getting a really gentle energy, a nurturing energy, a sort of a mothering type energy, but yet it has a practical or to do with health sense to it. So that's an interesting reading coming up with the Native American. I like that with the Native American cards as well. So let's have a look and see what's next. Okay, what card are we looking at next? Here we have Mount Kenya. Oh, that's interesting, Mount Kenya. So let's have a look and see what the message of Mount Kenya is. Now that's America. Let's see. South, right, I was right. Okay, that's page 172. Now Mount Kenya talks about sustenance. Now to me, sustenance is this thing of, oops, nurturing self. So when you're nurturing self on some level, I think this really does talk about nurturing, about finding a sense of balance in some way. But I'm getting a lot about nurturing. Sustenance to me is about what's nurturing your soul, what's going to allow you to come through. Now with this one I'm just going to do the Hoodoo Tarot. Oh, there we go. What flew out? The 4 cards that flew out. Father of Baskets. So this to me is an emotional issue. So it could be Big Mama, 4 of Coins, and Ace of Sticks. So when you look at what's nurturing, okay, with Mount Kenya, you're looking at sustenance. So you're looking at what's nurturing, what's keeping you endurance, what's keeping you going. It could be about not wearing your emotions, even though you're caring and kind and all those sort of things come into it. Don't use that to don't wear your emotions on the sleeve. Maybe you need to put your emotions to one side for a while. It might have a feeling of being a bit vulnerable here. There is about finding a sense of happiness and contentment that certainly comes through quite strongly. Maybe you're looking at what are you holding on to? Maybe you need to put some stuff aside for another day. Maybe it's about nurturing your soul by actually putting something aside and knowing that there could be a breakthrough. There could be an ability to have new beginnings in a creative energy or an ambitious energy, maybe within a passion. Maybe this wakes up a passion, you know, with being sustenance, being nurtured. Maybe it is something that's going to take a bit of time to do, so it could have endurance as part of it. So it's about putting your emotions to one side, maybe feeling a bit vulnerable in some way. Look at what you're actually putting aside. It could be a reminder to actually put some stuff aside for some reason, which could be really important, and that's going to allow things to move ahead in the direction that you actually want to move in. I love that Mount Kenya with the Hoodoo cards for some reason. Seems to go really, really well together as well. I mean, it may not be perfect in a cultural sense maybe, but or it does seem to sit really, really well. I think a lot of it is about connecting maybe to the place in some way and then connect to the cards, but we'll see. Okay, so the last one I've got here, I've got 2 actually, I've got 2 more decks. We'll have to come down. So let's have a look and see. I mean, overall, like the messages work really, really well. It does seem to sort of connect. The colours are really good with the decks. It might just work. It's me just tapping the blind in there. So here we've got Stonehenge here. Okay, now this definitely is not a Japanese card, of course, or anything like that, but just colour wise I know that it goes really well. So anyway, Stonehenge here. What was the message of Stonehenge? Now I did look at this. This was about cleansing away. So maybe we're cleansing away, and I'm just getting straight away the relationship. So maybe we need to cleanse away a relationship on some level. Now that relationship doesn't necessarily need to be a romantic relationship. Doesn't necessarily mean a relationship that's intimate or anything like that, but it's definitely a relationship that you need to cleanse away. You need to clear it away, you need to remove it, you need to let go, release. So let's look a bit more about this relationship in some way. Here we've got the Knave of Swords. So this could be about you with the relationship that you need to cleanse away. Maybe it's time for you to start looking at the truth. You need to start finding about the truth of the situation. You need to look at your perspective. You need to look at the facts. You need to know what's actually going on. So here you've got the four. Okay, you've got the Four of Wands here. So Four of Wands is normally about a relationship that's maybe to do with marriage or a commitment. So it could be a relationship that could be to do with contracts. Okay, to me, it doesn't necessarily have to be like a physical marriage between people. It could be just a contracted relationship. Okay, so you need to see the truth to cleanse away the relationship on some level. You need to look at the truth of the situation, and it may be related to a contract. Okay, and the last card we got here is Queen of Cups. Now it does come out as an emotional connection in some way. So you may be feeling quite emotional about it. You may find yourself really looking at this from an emotional perspective in the relationship. So let's see if there's anything else that flew out. Here we've got two. Also, it might be about something that's secret. It might be a relationship that's been hidden from others. Maybe it's not something that's out in the open. Interesting. So can you tell us a little bit more about this relationship? So it could be a relationship that's quite emotional. It has been hidden. It is something that was hidden from others. Okay, so it's obviously something that you've got to clear. It may not be a good relationship. It may be something here. You've got the Queen of, so it could be about passion, lust. Even though it's been emotional, it really has been one of maybe sexual tension in some way. I don't know why I'm getting that, but that could be. So it could be a lustful relationship, and you need to clear it away, which could be really, really important. So that's an interesting combination when you look at it like that. So I think the Romantic Tarot works really well. Colour-wise, it looks amazing together. I think that really does connect in the message. I mean, you could do this with any tarot deck. These are just some suggestions, some ideas, not necessarily perfect. So what I'm going to do now is just look at the Japanese tarot card that flew out. Straight away, Seven of Cups, choosing wisely. It looks like you've got a lot of options, and you've got a lot of options in front of you. Which path are you actually going to take is part of the process here. So card number 2, Two of Pentacles. Maybe you're feeling a bit overwhelmed. Everything feels like you've got a lot of juggling to do. So you really need to look at your priorities, what's important. And again, we've got the sense of something being hidden. Okay, so we're looking at something that is asking you to choose wisely. Maybe you're not quite seeing the bigger picture, you're not quite seeing what it actually is, but it is overwhelming. It is quite, it does seem to be something that you're juggling. So let's have a look and see what the Sacred Sites card, card that flew out was Anger What? Oh, so that's interesting. So it's really amazing. Here we've got sort of an Asian, we've got the vintage Japanese, and here we have the Anger What? Okay, sorry, I'm going to, pardon me, sneeze. Excuse me. Whoops. I saw Anger What here. Let's have a look. Anger What? Oops, at least I mean that is. No, South, 160. See, that's Cambodia. Angkor Wat, of course, is Cambodia, and it's page 160. Okay, so let's have a look. So this is about releasing. So what did I say? So here I felt like there was, so we're talking about releasing and letting go. So we're looking at something that we're asked to choose wisely. You know, with all these options in front of us, what choice do we actually make? It does feel like we are juggling a lot. It seems to be we're juggling all these choices that are in front of us, and it is something that's hidden. Okay, something that's secret, and we need to release and let that go. Interesting. I think it really combines really well with the previous reading maybe, but you may be looking at it from another perspective as well. So maybe there's something that is overwhelming to you. It could be emotional, but it could also be financial respect. So maybe the finance aspect is very emotional for you, and what could be related to health. Maybe you're juggling your health in some way, so you've got a lot of options ahead of you, so you need to choose quietly. You need to also choose wisely, and maybe a option that's actually hidden at this moment. You may need to wait for it to be revealed. You may need to find what it is. You may need to seek what the answer is, but it is definitely about releasing and letting go of something. Seems to be really important aspect of this. Now you could go through and go, okay, I'm looking at this options available to me. So what lies ahead for me if I'm going to release and let go, surrender to what was hidden in regards to the options that I need to choose. You know, what hidden option do I have? How do I let it go? How do I surrender to this? So let's have a look. Here we've got Seven of Pentacles. So we've got to look at what do we actually want to bring into our life at this time. There is definitely transformations and changes being taking place. Seems to be a lot of things finishing. Now, Three of Wands does bring us a sense of pause, a moment to reflect in what we're actually bringing into our life, what's bringing us transformation. Quite interesting when you look at that as a little bit more of the readings. Oh, so another card just flew out, and we've got Patola Palace. Patola Palace. Now, isn't this interesting? Patola Palace. When you look at working with certain decks and the cards that come through, really, really interesting. So again, we're looking at the South, we're looking at Tibet and page 140. Wow, this is so interesting. Okay, and so this is about guardianship. So this might be a feeling of being protected. So knowing that we are protected through this process could be really an important aspect of releasing. Okay, this could be a really important aspect of releasing and letting go. So maybe we have a look and it just tells us a little bit more about taking courage. So maybe this guardianship gives us the courage to move through the transformations as we bring what we want into our journey, allowing us a sense of pause, a sense of moment of revealing or reflecting on or contemplation about where we want to go. Maybe it allows us to embrace what's important for us. Maybe we're being forced to walk away without looking back. Maybe this is a chance for us to, as we move through the transformations and the changes, to keep looking ahead. Don't look back for where we're going. So this is where this card is reminding us to look ahead. This is just another reminder, another affirmation to not look back. Don't look back into the past, but continue to move ahead into the future. Could be part of themselves. You know, this is definitely about having to leave. So very much about choosing wisely and being able, what's stressing us out, and we're being told to not look back. It's like someone's claimed something else for themselves. So we've really had to look at what's important, what do we want to bring into our life. So I love the way that the cards, I picked up the Japanese vintage tarot, and the cards I got were from Cambodia and Tibet. Now I know they're not the same place, they're not the same culture, but they do have that Eastern type feel to the deck. So that's really interesting. I love the way that the cards have sort of connected as I've gone through this to different places. So interesting. I think I could dive a bit deeper into some of the other decks that I could maybe use with this deck. So interesting. So that's it from me from HeKate's Crossing. Thanks for being with me as I've paired the Sacred Site Oracle deck with lots of different types of tarot decks. This is a little bit different. Normally I'm working with tarot and lots of oracle. Here I've worked with one oracle with lots of different tarot. So don't forget to check the links below. Check the links on my channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe and ring that bell so you know when the next video will be uploaded. So that's it from me. Take care and blessed be.